Okay. Hi, so today I'm going to be talking about the angel and the demon of my story, Joshua Tree, which is a story about a character named Joshua Tree. It has nothing to do with the place in California. It has nothing to do with the tree in California. It's a story about a character named Joshua Tree. Anyway, sorry, I feel like I have to say that just to, for people who don't know, who just come across this and, don't know that. Anyways, so today's point is to talk about Nicholas and Alistair, which Nicholas is the angel, Alistair is the demon of the story. So with these two characters, when I first started writing this story, in this first book, Joshua Tree, I kept it very general, and with these two characters, I went for the classic yin and yang idea. So with them, even how they look. So let's talk about how they look. So with Nicholas, he's the yang. He wears a white long cape. He wears generally white clothes, and he has white hair, and then his irises are like a mix of white and gray. And then with Alistair, he's the yin. So he's, he wears all black. He has a thick, dark beard, and his irises are black with probably a mix of gray. And then they have the part of the eye that's supposed to be white is red, and he's bald. So that is generally how they look, which again is a very yin and yang, a good and evil idea, right? So with now they're as a character in the story. They are mainly, I would like to think of it as antagonists in the first book. Well, they just really push the story along with their intentions and their goals. And in this first book, it's just kind of like these characters are presented to you. You don't get a full backstory behind them, but you get very slight hints of it. But again, this first book was just meant to present them to you. In the second book, Joshua Tree Finds Peace, you get more, even a little bit more hints of their backstory. But, it's just it's supposed to be told as the story goes on. So that's the point of them. So in the first book, it's very general. Now, let me just talk about a little bit of the second book, because in the second book, I actually have some artwork in there, and there's actually a drawing that was done by Morgan, or as I used to know her in high school, Juniper. This is her Instagram if you want to go follow her. This is just a drawing she drew that, this is how she thought Nicholas would look like, and honestly, it was so cool, I had to put it in the second book, so I really appreciate it. It's just it's so cool. I don't have a drawing of Alistair, but, so that's just a drawing of what she thought he would look like. And it's really cool. Eventually I'm going to ask for artists to draw my characters again, maybe to put it into another book, and I'm actually thinking of doing maybe some money, putting some money behind that, like actually paying some artists, but that's down the line. I'll talk about this some other time. So with Nicholas and Alistair, that is the general idea of them in the first book. Again, it's more like they're just kind of presented to you. In the second book, it goes into a little bit more hints of their backstory. Now, when it comes to their backstory between Alistair and Nicholas, this is where things get a little bit more interesting, because I mentioned the yin and yang thing with the whole good and evil, and that story that's just been told a million times between good and evil. Now, when it comes to their backstory, clearly, and their character as Nicholas and Alistair, they're not straightforward good and evil. You know what I mean? Alistair, when Alistair in the first book, again, when these characters are first presented to you, it seems pretty clear-cut and straightforward. With Alistair, he is clearly a demon. He's making deals to get souls for clearly the devil. He seems like a straightforward demon. When it comes to the second book, Joshua Tree Finds Peace, things get a little bit more complicated in the way that you understand him more, and you start to understand his frustration more. So as the story goes on, you get to know Alistair a bit more. With Nicholas, it's a lot more complicated, because he is clearly not totally the yang of the story. He's not the good guy. He's not, just because he's an angel does not mean he's a good guy, because with his backstory, it's a lot more complicated. He was a good guy, in his past. That's why he's an angel. But now his point of view has been warped. He's become a lot more selfish in what he's trying to get done. And there are reasons behind that, but with the first book, again, these characters are just presented to you. Nicholas is an angel that is doing some crazy things and clearly is not good. And that is Nicholas. He's not necessarily a good guy. The yin and yang is just supposed to represent good and evil and that whole story that's been told 1,000 times. But with these characters, to them, when it becomes more personal, more about their character, it's not like that at all. It's a lot more complicated. With Nicholas, he is the hero of his own story, but he is not affecting the world in a good way. And that's the best way to describe their backstory that I'm still perfecting as time goes on and is being presented to you as time goes on. So that is the general idea of the angel and the demon of my story, Joshua Tree. So there's still one more character to talk about, but I'm not going to do that in the next video. I'm going to talk about what is wrong with Joshua Tree, what's wrong with my first book and my second book. And I know that sounds weird to talk about what's wrong with the story because, you know, I want you to invest in it. I want you to buy it. I want you to get interested in it. But I want to be honest as an author, and I'm still an amateur at this. So I'm still just starting. So I want to be clear about what I'm trying to improve on and how I'm going about this. And I'll talk about that in the next, I'll talk about more about that in the next video. And it might be a little while because I need to get my thoughts around how I'm going to talk about this, how I'm going to be honest. So, yeah, so if you want to subscribe, if you want to stay connected, I really appreciate that. And I'll talk about what's wrong with Joshua Tree in the next video. So I'll see you guys till then. I hope to see you then. I hope you, I won't see you. I hope you watch the next video. Yeah, I won't actually see you. Whatever. Okay, I'll see you guys next time. I won't see you guys next time. You'll see me next time. Bye.